as an economist, they invited me, I guess, to talk about what are the incentives that might work. So first let me think about it as an economist and try to analyze this problem, that we should always have some incentives and some deterrents that will help the mechanism to work, maybe through road safety or less drivers on the road, more pedestrian-friendly roads. And we have done a lot of that, I think, in Singapore and around the world, by actually having tickets. If you actually speed, there will be tickets, there will be points. There are many mechanisms that creates deterrence for drivers to act badly. There are also incentives, like if you actually don't drive during peak hours, you don't have to pay the ERP, and actually you can save money. So those are various mechanisms through which we can avoid congestion and essentially make roads safer. But not everybody. I mean, actually, incentives cannot cure all problems. We know that. I mean, I know that from my personal life. When I was in the US, I would actually once in a while park my car at a meter and hope that it will be only 1 hour and it will take me 1.5 hours and I'll get a ticket. Then I'll get the ticket, I'll pay it, and then I'll say, wow, and never again, feed the meter extra, feed it for 2 hours or 3 hours, doesn't matter. But over time, I'll forget it. And then I'll still just feed it for an hour or not feed it at all, and then I'll get another ticket. So you learn that, bad things you shouldn't do, but then over time you forget these things. So, you have to be constantly reminded what is the right thing to do in life. These are not things you can do through incentives, but you have to do behavioral changes in people, remind them or make things salient to them. I live in Clementi, so on AYE recently there is this new ERP gantry that is built. And now what I see around there is around 7, when the gantry prices change from, I think, around $2 and they go down to 0, there are a lot of cars parked on the highway, on the side of the highway. This bizarre behavior to me, because these are the same people who paid, what, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 to buy that car. But now they're standing on the side of the road to save 50 cents or $1. I don't even know. Even if it's $5, it still doesn't make sense. Most likely they'll cause an accident or they'll cause problems on the road. But they're trying to save that money. So it's inconsistent behavior. They're paying all this money, but they're also trying to save $1. So this is clearly not about pricing mechanism. I cannot come up with any pricing mechanism to solve this problem. The mechanism is already there. I think currently the way it works is around that time of that 5-minute interval before it goes to 0, prices actually start dropping. It goes from whatever $2 it is, it goes down to $1.50 and back to 0. So people just don't know this, I think. My view is that this is not salient information to the driver, that I don't need to wait there. It's not $2 that I have to pay. It's already 50 cents by the time I'm like 1 minute away, because I see these people already slowing down their cars. They're coming to the gantry. The gantry is like around 5 seconds away. They think they can slow it down the car enough that it will take them 30 seconds to reach there, and they will beat the clock and they'll pay 0. It's just not going to happen. But that's how people behave. So if we can make it salient to them that this is not important, the price has already gone to 0, don't worry about it. I mean, we know from other experiments we have done at NUS that people behave inconsistently, that people who tend to buy bigger cars and they pay more COV to buy these cars, they actually drive their cars more. So I mean, it's a strange behavior that because I paid $50,000 for COV and the commander paid $200,000 for COV, he'll drive more. The commander should be driving what he needs to. Not that he does, I'm just making an example here. Let's reverse it, I would do it. But these are things that are much more pertinent we see every day, and we need to think about ways to kind of solve these problems. Other things are just habits. I mean, I originally come from India. So, in India, when you're crossing the road, you have to worry about so many things. The cow could be there, and the car could be there, and the jeep could be there, and the truck. So you have to worry about everything. And so your sense is in different direction on how to cross the road. Obviously, when I come here, I have to realize none of those distractions are on the road. It's just, there's a traffic light, there is a zebra crossing. When it says 30 seconds to cross, I should just walk my way across and just cross the street. So I mean, those are the kind of things. We have heterogeneous populations coming in big cities. These populations just need time to understand what the rules of the cities are and how they behave, And over time, I hope they learn. So, I mean, there are these frictions that will happen in any big city. I mean, in terms of drivers, in terms of pedestrians, all of them are coming at any time. There is movement in and out of cities. These things will happen, and they will learn. And I think these information can be made salient to, again, to these pedestrians and consumers.